So Chris, man, you know back in high school when like youngins used to go body.
Sure, sure.
I was never the person to like, not even instigate, but just be the one that's like, yeah, nah, we gotta go body. You know?
Yeah, I don't recall a time when you did.
Me neither. But you always gotta be ready. You know? Especially playing high school sports.
hmm
Like it could pop off at any time and you gotta answer the call. You know? But luckily, nobody tried me. Has anybody tried you? You played football. That might have been a little different. No?
In high school, I had no beef with anybody. I'd be around chilling, and then whoop, I'm gone off the class.
So, my question to you, and probably a lot of people right now, is who will win? Killmonger
Oh,
or Kang the Conqueror?
oh. I thought you were gonna say you or me. I'm like, gee, you
Nah.
you like 6'11", bro. I'm gonna have to be like Creed and retire early. You know, be like, no, what? I can't take this fight.
Oh me. Oh man. But as y'all heard, man, we talking about Creed today. But it's not just Michael B and Jonathan Majors, bro. This is also an MCU matchup that we haven't seen before. This is something that is pretty groundbreaking in the sense of like the way they shot the film, but also it's just a straight up square up. Like we got to run these hands, and that's what we got to see. But before we get into that, man, welcome back to the Why I'm Geek show, man. This is episode 87 of them thanks, and this is a good one, man. I was super excited to see this. I actually watched the second movie for the first time before I saw this one, and then watched the first one again. And man, it's like, I don't know what it was. I guess I just wasn't like really tripping about movies back then, but I liked it way more the second time I watched it. And I don't think I was paying attention last time I was watching it either. Like it just came on, like somebody had the movie. And I was just like, oh, Creed. Okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? But Chris, did you do the deep dive back? Well, it's not that deep of a dive. It can be if you go
both movies again.
Okay, I about to say it can go even deeper if you go to Rocky movies too. But I still ain't seen none of Rocky Jones. But I mean, this movie was freaking insane, bro. Like the battle for LA. What more can I say? You know, what was your like first impressions of the movie? Like, did you have like super high expectations? Because they did a lot of press for this jump.
I had pretty high expectations because I was wondering if this was going to be the last Creed. Um, and it's sort of tough because there's multiple Rocky movies, and I kind of just thought that they were gonna keep pumping them out until they said, okay, we can't do enough. But I just had a feeling that this was gonna be
The one.
potentially the last one, so that was a big hype about it for me.
Okay. Yeah, I figured it'd be a trilogy, but and it ended like that, especially based on like the way the other two movies ended, because it's like the way they are set up, they're complete stories. You know, like there's not that much like lead up. There's not no like real end credits that suggests like, oh nah, this is the next one. This is the next one, you know? Which is kind of an MCU thing, which I'm realizing I really be expecting that now every time I go to the movies. Yeah. But I really like this movie just because, for one, anime references. That was the thing for me initially, because like before, like when you watching a boxing movie, I'm not a huge boxing fan, but when you watch them, it's kind of, you always see the same kind of angles. This joint had different types of angles and a different type of camera, and I was just sitting there Like it was like I was watching a real boxing match because Jenkins was getting hype in that joint. Like I don't know what your theater experience was because we didn't go at the same time, but like for me, I saw a matinee and it was a decent amount of people there, and that joint still got rowdy. You know, which is strange to me a little bit. I wasn't expecting that. Like I was expecting me to be hyped because that's just the type of person I am. But like I wasn't necessarily expecting that kind of reaction. What did you think about it? Like, were people going crazy in your theaters?
People only went crazy towards the end, like
Okay.
the final scenes. People were clapping and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Majority of the time, they were pretty calm for most of the movie, and no
Mm-hmm.
one was really geeking when they had like all the real close up shots and
Mm-hmm.
crazy angles that you're talking about. Everyone was pretty tame until like the very end. Then everyone was like, "Oh my gosh!" Oh.
Okay. That joint was crazy though, bro. And I'm still sitting here like, yo, I think I gotta go see it again. I think. Um, like if somebody else hasn't seen it, I'm like, yeah, I go, you know. Um, but one of the things I want to talk about is just like the trilogy, at least, because I feel like for this to be the third movie, it was like a full circle moment type thing. Because the first movie, he's alone, right? Essentially, that's how we started off. Second movie, now he has, a family, and a family, in their families, he's growing. In this one, in the next one, now he has a whole freaking empire and one person that can tear it all down. And it was a beautiful thing because boxing in itself is kind of poetic when you like kind of slow it down and just like look at the whole journey from like learn about the fight, the training, to the actual fight, and then the aftermath. So I was like, I feel like I was in that universe because I watched those three things happen, like or these three movies in like pretty close proximity. So I was like still refreshed on everything. So in this movie, when they started us off like with a more of like a flashback type thing after he defended the title and it was like, oh, I'm the champ, I'm out of here type beat, I was just like, yo, like this is crazy. And I was amazed, bro. I was just like, I was amazed at everything. I was just geeked. I can't help it, bro. This is the one for me, like where y'all just gonna hear me say all podcasts, like this joint was crazy. Cause it's like it's beyond words in the story that it was able to tell. We literally saw Adonis go from like a little kid to a kid that's like on a brink of like his life can either go one way or the other way, to like finding the thing that was missing, to finding the love of his life, to having a kid, to like it's so much that they was able to fit in these three movies. And I feel like I need to stop talking and hear what you think a little bit because I'm going in right now. So like,
No,
does
you're good. You're
any
good.
anything I said, strike you or like make you think about it in a different way?
I mean, especially with this third movie, they really want to hammer down what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Donis and what's his friend's name?
Dame.
Dame. Kind of like how they're similar kids in a moment, and
Mm-hmm.
your life can go two different ways entirely.
Right.
And essentially, from Dame's perspective, you pretty much took my life. Like that was my life.
Mm-hmm.
I was the best one, and that was going to be my life.
Right.
And I want my shot at what you got, type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the the thing with this movie is it just has a lot of subtle things like that, including like forgiveness between Dame and uh Donnie. They
Yeah,
call him whatever.
that's what I call him.
Adonis. Uh, they have like forgiveness for his dad, forgiveness from his mom.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's just a lot of different small details in the third movie that kind of bring back Creed 1 and Creed 2,
Mm-hmm.
even to the point where he's training with the son of the person who murdered his dad. You know,
Right.
there's
Right.
like a lot of different
I wouldn't
uh
expected that.
yeah, a lot of different small things that you can take away from this movie.
Hmm. Yeah. I think um when you even look past just the fighters and you look at um Tessa Thompson's character and you see her relating to Jonathan Major's character Dame in the sense of like they both have a passion and a love that's was taken away from them in a sense, um
Sure.
with like you said, uh Dame wanting to be a boxer and then got caught up and stuff like that where Donnie ran and now he's in the jail cell watching Donnie win all the
Live his life.
time.
Yeah.
Exactly. Got the cars, got the family, got everything, and then um with Tessa Thompson's character, I'm blanking on her name right now. uh is Bianca.
Yeah.
um she's a singer, right? But she's also like partially losing her hearing, and that was something that they established in literally the first movie, and it was just like such a small little detail, and we could start to see them like fully build the story around that as well. But when she heard her song being sang by somebody else, and they had that little tender moment of like, dang, like you can take it one way or the other, whereas like she took it with
Exactly.
like I'm happy about like it even being heard, and Dame taking it like, dang, like nah, like that should be me, like and
Yeah.
it was a really cool thing because it's like there's still so much to, like, at least now I don't feel like there's as much to tell in Donnie's story, um but there was still so much mystery that like he never really shared, and we as viewers were getting insight to that at the same time as Bianca. So we were just sitting there like, what? Like we know a little bit of what happened, but it just slowly get revealed over time, and it's super super satisfying to the point where when the movie ends, I'm like, nah, that was it. Like they covered everything that I wanted, except one thing. I was going to save it for a little bit later, but
Go
I
ahead.
found out some new information that might not be new to some of y'all, but it was new to me. And that was the reason why Rocky wasn't in this movie, right? Because it's in 1 and 2. And I didn't think it would be anything to do with Michael B. Jordan by any means, but the person that basically like owns the franchise or whatever, or it's like the producer, whatever you want to call it, I don't know the exact terms. This old man, he's beefing with Sylvester Stallone. They got beef.
Okay.
So there was no reference to Rocky, which was really weird. There was no call, no nothing. And it was like in the second movie, because I seen it so recently, it's weird. Like we got a little send off with Rocky, like with him um reconnecting with his kid. But after that, like for him to be the champ, and now is Duke in this corner where Duke is a good corner man and is a good coach and whatever, but he ain't Rocky. So we don't know if Rocky dead. We don't know what if he's in Canada or if he's back in Philly. This whole joint takes place in Cali. So it's just like it's enough to make me feel like if I only saw Creed 3, I didn't feel like until after the fact. I was like, dang, I miss Rocky in there. I don't know how they did it, but I wasn't thinking about it until after the fact. And I was like, dang, he wasn't in there. I was expecting something, but like, it's just crazy to see like some of the characters get a callback and the others don't.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't mind that Duke stepped in because he's been a character in the stuff
From the beginning.
uh from the beginning. So it was really good that he kind of got more light into it.
And he a legend
And
too.
yeah, I was sitting there like, dang, I can't believe I forgot that that actor is in like multiple movies. Like
Yeah. Remember the
but
Titans?
Yeah,
Paid in
Remember the
full.
Titans. Uh,
My
what I was
body
trying to
different. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
what I was thinking about was I kind of didn't mind Rocky not being in the movie. I just thought
Mm,
it like you're saying, it was weird that an
yeah.
extremely emotional moment happens in the scene and Rocky doesn't even write a
Right.
letter or do anything. Like
Right.
I just felt like you didn't have to have Rocky in the movie, but
Mm-hmm.
you could have had a reference that like you got Rocky in your corner or like good luck champ type thing, like a text message, like
Right. Or a picture
'cause
or something.
because
Something
you
to
know
remember.
Rocky would do that.
Yeah.
You just know he would.
Right.
Especially if you're a champion. Because pretty much in this movie we've seen Creed's career. He
Mm-hmm.
retires, takes a few years off. I think it was like 3
3.
according to Stephen A.
Yeah.
But you
Stephen A was
know
in that job.
Rocky Rocky would at least say like you got one more in you.
Yeah. With him with the famous line, one step, you know,
Yeah. And
like
all I
one
thought was
punch.
like if he can't be in it, like a text, a
Yeah.
card or
Mm-hmm.
something.
Yeah, because he was his rock. No pun intended.
Yeah, they just really wanted to step away from like Rocky Shadow, and it's cool because I don't think it
I
took
don't
away
think
from the
it's
movie.
cool.
It just felt weird because knowing Rocky's character, there's no way he'd just be like.
Yeah.
But I do think in Creed 2, he does take like one of his last like lines is, it's like your time,
Mm-hmm.
it's your time now, kid, or something like that, and like Rocky like sits back because
Yeah.
he kind of realizes that. Uh, Also another reference, he was like, "It's a young man's game, and I'm in the past." And
Right.
he says like, "It's your time," and he like sits down while he's up there and
Mm-hmm.
enjoying his time. So it's cool
Right.
that Rocky is no longer in this movie.
I don't think it's cool, but it don't it the movie doesn't hurt. Like it's not being hurt because he's not in it though. Like I don't
Yeah,
think this movie need like this script or this story needed him to be in it. It just would make sense for the universe that they in, you know.
it would 100%.
But yeah. So what was some of your favorite things about this joint? And then we'll get into some of the things you didn't like, if you didn't like anything.
Mainly Jonathan Majors.
Okay.
Uh, it just because we just saw Kang, and now we
Yeah.
see Jonathan Majors as a boxer, a big brutal one, haymaker thrower.
Yeah.
Uh, and just trying to get what's his. Like he this actor just really is taking
The
over. I mean, I
range.
don't know how old he is, but he may be like 35-ish, 36. He
Hmm.
has a long career ahead of him. Like he's
Yeah.
about to just dominate movies, be in everything
Hmm.
because his range is crazy.
Yeah.
Um, he just didn't even seem like Kang, and I was like, dang, this
Yeah.
Kang variant is going crazy. But
Yeah. I think the only thing I didn't like about his performance in this joint was like that southern twang is hard to get rid of, you know? Like he didn't I don't feel like he mastered the Cali accent like I was expecting him to. Um which is not I'm not gonna say it's easy by any means. He's professional, not me. But I was expecting um a little bit more, you know? And it's not just your standard like he said bro so many times like in that joint instead of like
because he's supposed to be like a big brother. That's
yeah.
how I felt it.
No, I get it, but I still didn't get Cali from him though. Like, and even the younger ones, like the young kids, one of them was in All American, and he's been in a lot of stuff too. I forgot his name, but shout out to him. Um,
He seemed young still, and I'm like,
yeah,
dang. I think the last time I saw you was like 2-3 years ago, and like,
right, exactly. Um, but yeah, man, I think Jonathan Majors is like that for sure. Um, to me, I think my favorite thing was the fights, bro. Like as simple as that. It didn't matter who was fighting, just the way that they was shooting that joint had me really like, oh, they locked in. Like they when they said they brought in the anime references, I saw it. Because the only thing I was missing was the inner monologue. That's the only thing that makes this joint not an anime. Because while they like the clearest example was in the the final fight when the ring went silent, it went dark, and um John, I was about to say Jonathan Majors, but Donnie was fighting up against a cage, and then for Jonathan Majors, his character Dame, he was fighting up against like a mattress or something. Like I don't know, like if that was just supposed to be like represent jail or something, but
like his home, his
the group
job,
home,
the group home.
yeah. So it was referencing that. And like I was just like, yo, all they're missing right now is like the Naruto talk no jutsu, where like in the middle of the fight, like we say everything with our fist. Like I was just waiting for that to happen, but all they did was grunt. And Jonathan Majors doing his best M'Baku impression throughout the whole fight scenes.
Yeah.
But other than that, even in like the first fight when Donnie was defending his title before he retired, he was just like they kept doing the slow mo. One thing about it that was cool to me is they never like did the same thing. Like every fight there was like a different type of moment. Which was cool to see. And he was like, checkmate. And it was like a slow mo. It was like, yo, he keep leaving these ribs open. And hit them joints 2 times. Bang, bang. And he went down. And I was like, oh, he's like that. And it was so good, bro. It was so good in that moment. I think the only other thing that was just like, I didn't need that was my died, bro. Freaking Felicia Rashad. She ain't need to die like that. It worked, but I just be hating to see it, man. And the way that like it went out, it was like not that they dragged it out, but I don't know. It's something about Ryan Coogler, bro. Like he just loved killing all black women. But I ain't gonna talk about that. It's like nah. But the way that really centered Adonis was key, because it's like, dang, she's looking at him and she's seeing his father, right?
Yeah.
And in those moments, it was just like, oh my gosh, like this is really happening. I couldn't believe it. Well, I think that's really the only thing I didn't like about it, which is not even a bad thing for real. It was just like, dang, I wish she didn't have to go out. But, it was something that you saw coming, And then, another thing that was really cool about this was, like I said earlier, how they adapted like the fact that Bianca is losing her hearing, like progressive hearing loss, but their daughter doesn't have any hearing at all, and the use of sign language and how they made it was like, anybody can pick this up at any moment. It was just like very inviting. And even when she had her moments where she got frustrated or got into a little scuffle at school and she knocked somebody out, it was still like those moments were like centering, in the sense of like, like when you look at her, it's like everything is all right, like no matter what. And she possibly might be the next one up. We'll see if they comes out in Creed 4.
Creed 4, I mean,
yeah. Yeah. And I was just like, damn, I might need to learn sign language, bro. Like that just might be a new skill. Like, because the way they was doing it, it seemed like made it look like it was not easy, but like the more you practice it,
yeah,
the
100%.
better that you get. And they was arguing in sign language with the teacher. I was geeked at that, because like you could tell the type of father that Adonis is. And I was just like, bro, like this is good. This is real good right now. I enjoyed every moment of that joint. But yeah, man, I got all these notes on here, and it's just like so much to talk about, bro. You got anything else you want to talk about before I take something else off this list?
I mean, all right. So I like the movie. I don't think it's like amazing.
Okay. Why is not amazing, Chris? Tell us.
I think it's like a good solid like wrap up trilogy. But for me, like there was never like a moment in the movie where I thought like this is like the finale, the this is for all these Marvel fans out here. Like this is like
Mm,
Endgame, Infinity War level Creed. Like this is the best Rocky, this is the best Creed movie I've ever seen, and we're going out on top. I kind of felt like a lot of the scenes and a lot of stuff they were pushing for,
mm,
it instead of like hitting it like a home run, like it was everything was very, very solid. Everything was very well done. And even like leading to the last fight, like some of the tensions into that fight, I felt like it wasn't even that high. Like
mm.
if Creed loses that fight, it really has no effect on nothing. You know what I mean? Like
No, if he lose that
so,
fight, it's over with.
but what? That's what I'm saying. Like
He
there's
lose
some tension,
everything.
like there's some tension left out because Creed is retired and he's coming back out of
Yeah,
retirement to fight him, pretty much.
yeah. But the tension is, I
The
feel like
tension is
I feel like the tension for not Creed is for Dame, because look at all the things that Dame did to get there. You know, like you gotta think about it, bro. Literally, Dame can't got out of jail, pulled up at the gym. You know,
yeah,
he could have got shot, bro, just sitting outside his whip like that. But um, after that, he was like, "Yo, give me a shot," and he got him into the gym, started sparring. Duke realizes like, "Yo, now he really out here trying to hurt youngins. Like he still got these jail tactics in him, right?"
yeah,
Like, now he gotta get up out of here, type beat. And everything falls through where Drago, surprise cameo, um, ends up getting hurt. Right, got into a scuffle at the label party. Somebody breaks his hand with a baton.
okay,
We just sit here like, dang, like that's crazy. Like, why would that even happen? You know, like Drago career probably over with at this point, and then he gets his shot, right? So it's like, dang, like this is it. This is what he wanted. But then we find out, oh, found a picture with his man's. His man's the
yeah,
one that did it. It's
yeah,
like, oh, he was playing us from the start, and now I kind of come out of retirement and put these paws on him, you know. And for me, like
that's
I
the story. That's
that's
the
the
story, though.
yeah, that's the story. But the tension is, it's like, yo, if I lose, he's like this destructive path that he's on is never going to stop. You know,
Okay,
like
sure.
literally,
That's okay. I see what you're saying.
yeah, you gotta let me cook, man. Let me cook. You know, but so like that was a moment, and then you also have everything that's going on in the media, right? Because at this point, Adonis's whole legacy, not as a boxer per se. If he loses, he loses. He still is on the belt. He still is on all the other stuff, right? Still did the
Yeah,
whole father son thing already because he had his career. But the gym that he had, his star fighter loses to his own man's, right?
yeah, that he allowed.
Right. So like uh goes on Stephen A. Now let's
Yeah,
not do this, bruh. Let's not do this. And they start doing it. And they start turning up on what's it called? Making the gym look bad. If he loses that fight, his whole backup plan, or not backup plan, but retirement plan of that gym, it's just goes out the window. And now
yeah,
it's like he made his money already, but it's just like, yo, the amount of pressure that puts on him, not only to uh not continue his legs, but keep his legacy where it should be, gets taken out by a childhood friend that should have never even been in that situation
yeah.
if
He
Adonis didn't punch the man.
exactly,
If he didn't punch
exactly,
the
bro.
man.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Like the whole thing is Adonis, right? If
Yes.
he invited his friend because he felt like he had to,
Yes.
like
Blackmail.
you sure blackmail. So all of that is like the tension of him fighting him. But for me, Creed 1 and Creed 2 have better tension of one, he's trying to become world champion,
Mm-hmm.
and then he's getting the help of Rocky to do that. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And then
Yeah.
it's like, oh, this guy has a legacy, but he doesn't want to use that to
Mm-hmm.
become world champion.
Right.
And then it becomes kind of like a story of, well, you are a Creed type thing. You're a Creed and you're a Johnson type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like use the name.
Right.
And then two, it's literally he's going against in a way, trying to avenge his father's death. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but like I'm trying to figure out where the tension's at, because for me, where the tension, when you say tension,
yeah,
like I'm thinking like, yo, like I don't know what's finna happen right now. From Creed 1 to Creed 3,
kind of like why
other than
is this
I
fight
feel like,
so important? That
yeah,
like
I feel
to
like the
me
first
it's
movie,
weaker in this one.
I feel like the first one has the highest
Yeah,
amount of
yeah.
tension,
And the
because
second
it's
one
like
has a real good one, but this one
it
is
has a
like
it has a good one, but not because of what you're saying. It has a good one
because he's
because
fighting the person who what?
no, no, it's because not only is he doing that, but also Rocky had cancer.
Sure, sure.
So he found out that he has cancer. So they both are fighting for life. Like they're fighting for their lives, right?
Didn't Rocky have cancer in the first movie? Yeah.
He didn't have it in the second one either. It didn't come
No,
back.
no,
Oh, he just.
no.
Oh, well.
But
Okay.
I'm saying the second one is literally like it's Drogo. It's literally Rocky. I think it's like 3 or 2. I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
And then he has a son, so it's the dude. Do you see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like he
Yeah,
actually
but
murdered your father, and in a way, Adonis is projecting that
he's
into
trying to
the fight.
rewrite history. I understand.
He's trying to rewrite history. He's trying to
Yeah.
avenge his father, and he feels like he needs to do this. He gets
Right.
beat down and
Right.
still feels like I couldn't even do it. In
Right.
this one, it's just like, to me, less tension of, does he even need to win this fight? And like you're saying, it's a good point that, oh, he's gonna go on this rampage. But in the big scheme of things, it's just because you messed up. Like you should have listened to Duke, not have let him in. And he's just like, oh, I'm gonna fix this by fighting him. And I'm just like, I guess, but it's not rewriting what you did. Like it doesn't rewrite anything. Like
Like
you
you.
made a mistake. That's it, Adonis. You made a
Right.
mistake.
And they're both looking for redemption, but also forgiveness. That was a big thing.
Yeah, yeah.
As well. But I don't think
that's what I'm saying. The tension of the fight isn't necessarily that.
The tension of the fight for me is that they about to fight. Like you can't lose in a fight, bro.
Oh man, bro.
And
all I'm saying is the weaker of the fights of the
okay,
thing. Like,
okay. So
it's not up there.
I agree with that point, but I don't feel like the tension was lost for me because all the stuff that led up to that fight that was on his back while he was fighting, and then it wasn't until he actually got in it where he's like you could start to see like getting lighter as the fight continued to go on, because he was like, all right, now we getting this baggage off type thing. So for you, that's okay if the tension wasn't there.
Yeah. Well, I have one question. Did you
What's
ever
up?
feel like he was gonna lose?
Which fight? The final fight? No.
Yeah.
No.
Exactly.
No.
But there was like zero.
But that was but the only reason why the first movie is so good is because he lost.
Yeah, sure.
And in the second one, it's like, oh, he can't lose again. Like I didn't go in the second one think he was gonna lose. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like this one, the fact that I've even felt like, okay, he's gonna beat him.
But is that a knock because you're so smart?
No. I'm saying between 1 and 2, the tensions of win or lose or importance of fights are way
Stop
better
saying
than
2, bro. Stop saying 2, because it's not 2. It's 1. 1 is the only one for me, at least.
All right. I don't know.
Like I agree with 1. I don't agree with 2 because I knew he was gonna win in 2. Like for me in 2, the bigger story was Drago, because Drago lost everything.
Yeah, but then you knew he was gonna win in 3 also.
Exactly. That's why I'm only saying to count 1 for it, not 2.
All right.
I ain't trying to argue. That's not what I'm trying to do.
I'm just kind of like there was something in this movie that that 1 and 2 were a little bit different about. Like there was a sense of, okay, Creed can lose.
Mm-hmm.
Creed is gonna redeem himself, or he's proving something. In this one, I kind of don't like the feeling that Creed messed up, and then his idea to fix things is to just fight him. And you're saying it's the fight.
That. I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. Sometimes you gotta square up, Chris.
Yeah,
He
So
already punched him.
yeah, but the thing is, it's literally like he is retired. He's a retired version of himself,
Yeah.
and that tension leading to that final fight, it did not feel like, oh my god, Creed may not actually win this. Like there
But
was
what is the
clearly like
other?
a
But what is the other option? If that's the
no,
story, I don't
yeah,
know.
I'm just saying, like, make it seem like he could lose it. It didn't seem like he was losing that fight. That's all I'm saying. Even with the cool anime scenes, all that, there was not a moment where I was like, dang, he does not have it. Like to me, that was the weird part. I was like,
But isn't
dang,
that
this
the
is.
whole point though?
I
Like
mean,
he's the main guy.
well, to me, the main point is like there's this underdog story when it comes to these types of movies. So the underdog, what they tried to go for the angle on this one is he's retired, he's too slow, he can't beat this dude.
I
You
feel
see what I'm
like
saying?
no, because the other dude is older than him. That's where you're losing me. Because it's literally Dame only had one fight on his record.
Yes.
One. And with that
Yes.
one fight, he got the championship. So he fast tracked his way to stardom.
Sure.
So
So
I'm trying to figure out who really has the pressure on him, because
that's what there's not any real pressure on this fight. That's what I'm
no,
saying.
I'm saying it's on Dame. That's what I was saying from the beginning. I said he had the most pressure on him.
But that's why I keep saying when you Creed walks out, there
Yeah,
is no tension that he's losing this fight because of what the movie is. We're kind of sitting there
right.
like, to me, I'm sitting there like, okay, oh, I gotta make up for my mistakes or whatever, so I'm gonna train back up, come out of retirement, and beat him. But I'm like, this isn't really like him beating him, and it's like this is the creme de la creme, uh, Creed 3 over. You know what I mean? Like that was the best finale
Well,
wrap up for Creed, and that's just what I'm thinking the entire time. Because like I said,
because
it's
I
like
don't.
Creed
Cause,
comes out retirement, beats a guy who has one win, who's his friend.
right, but I'm trying to figure out what would have been the other alternative, because you got to think about it, bro. When Dame won, right? He beat his star fighter. That whole fight, I was mad at Adonis,
I was too.
because he wasn't impartial at all. He was rooting for
I
that
was
champ the
too.
whole time, right?
It's his fault.
And when he won, and Dame was looking at him like, "Yo, bro, I did it." Regardless of how he won,
Ru-
regardless of how
and
he
that's why
won,
there was
that was
something
the moment.
about the storyline there that rubbed me kind of like you robbed me of like the real tension that it should have been.
What
Like
should have been what? That's what I'm trying to
because it
get
was
to.
kind of like Adonis himself messed up. Like if he wasn't showing all this rough thing type thing, and then it's like, oh nah, I'm doing this dirty. You see what I'm saying? Like he Adonis sort of knew already. Like they were telling him in the gym, they were telling, oh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna deal with it. It's fine, it's fine. Oh, I got a boxer. You know what? You can go against my and I'm just like, this dude is doing it. Like, and then when he's like, I'm gonna fix it, like in the hallway scene, and Duke tells him like, no, you don't gotta fix nothing. Don't come
Right.
to the gym no more. Don't
Right.
and and to me, leading up to that final fight, Adonis's version is just, well, I'm gonna just punch him, and then after I beat him, everything's good. Like,
That's an anime. That's an anime. That's why it's an anime,
so
bro.
yeah,
So
and all I'm saying is, to me,
it don't
it's
work.
kind of like for the final movie, that perfect ending.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it quite reaches it, but it's a good wrap up for the series. Like if they decide to close it, it's a good 1, 2, 3.
Okay, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
I don't agree, but I hear what you're saying. And for me, the fight itself was the thing I was worried about the least. Because for
Yeah.
me, what made this movie was everything else around it. Because I feel like I seen Adonis become a different person than he was in the beginning of this movie, along and bring his family with him. And when it ended and it was like it's just us three in the ring, my wife, my child, and she next. Like, I was like, oh, they got me. I'm good. So that's why, I don't know. I thought it was me. But I hear what you're saying. It just didn't bother me as much as it did you. And that's why I'll leave it. You know? That's why I'll leave it. Let's see. What else I got?
Like what don't you like about the movie?
I already said it. So I'm trying to figure it out. Because the show was like that. I told you when we started the podcast, bro, how I felt, and that's how I feel. Like, I didn't like that. I wish Rocky could have been in it.
Oh man.
And like you said, they built this whole story up like it was clean cut. Like, this is Michael B. Jordan's first directorial debut. The movie went full circle with his family. And you know, the fights was just like that. Like, it was good for me. Like, I don't think the fact that we knew who was supposed to win at the end should be a knock on it, because it's only two people that can, like, it's only one person that could win, right? And what makes the most sense? Like, there's no world that he
what
wins.
I'm saying is, it's kind of like, it's very implied in the movie this dude's gonna win. Like, I kind of wish in that training scene too.
What do you mean?
Jogo's son, when he was beating him up, that they didn't show the scene where he just randomly rises and it's like the champion's eye. You know how they mean.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
That, like, you unlock your champion self. I don't know. Sometimes in basketball,
Eye of the tiger,
the heart of the champion or whatever. Yeah. But it was like all of a sudden, now I can beat him up, and he started.
But bro,
oh, I'm bleeding now, and I'm like,
everything else about the movie, take Donnie out of it. Everything else about the movie was saying that he was supposed to lose.
Yeah.
So, like, what else could he have done?
Yeah.
To make it seem like he was going to win, other than his own belief.
No, that's what I'm saying. That the tension of the movie, to me, it just kind of brought up to, this dude is gonna win. And then when we see the final scenes, like, it's a really, really great fight scenes, and all the stuff you're talking about, it's really good. But that lack of tension of, is Dame actually gonna win, was not there. Like, there was not like punches where Dame was, it looked like, dang, he's just too old. Creed can't do it. Like, there was none of that. It looked like,
bro,
because he even said it, you thought it was gonna be easy, huh? Like, I was like, oh man.
But like, he's always done that though. Like, my thing about it with Dame is, like, the way Dame was fighting that first round. After that first round, when he realized, like, oh, you're not be able to get that cheap stuff off that he was getting off on everybody else, was like when it turned for me. Because I feel like the first round was as even as it could have been. The crowd was getting mad because they was just feeling each other out at that point.
Yep.
But it's just like, I don't think that's a knock, because they was both throwing them jumps. It's just the fact that Creed has more experience.
I'm saying the tension is kind of gone. Like, for me, it was,
and it gets replaced.
Was no longer there.
Okay, so if the tension gets disseminated or whatever, I can't think of a better word, but
sure.
if the tension is gone, it then gets replaced with the excitement of, like, yo, how is he really finna win?
I agree.
So like, what is the issue? What is the issue with it? Like no, when does the tension need to?
They remove the tension of the fight for these cool, like, boxing scenes that you've never seen in a movie, which is cool.
and that makes it bad. I'm trying to figure out where it goes wrong.
Jeez, all I'm saying is Creed 1 has better tension in the final fight. Creed 2 has better tension in the final fight. This one, it just shows a really cool fight. That's all. And that's what I'm saying. As a trilogy, it's really good. All I'm saying is,
because it's supposed to end like that, right? Okay.
Yeah, and it's kind of like it's supposed to end this way. But for me, I kind of was wondering, why didn't they go the route of, it's more underdog tension where maybe he cannot beat Dame. Dame's always been better than you. And dang, Creed, you getting your butt beat all fight, and we get to 12 rounds, you gotta knock him out. No, that's not what we got. We got
So
literally cool fight scenes, and pretty much Creed was like, "You thought this was gonna be easy. I'm a
so
champ,"
then
and then
so
he goes
then
back to his corner.
so then it comes down to pacing then.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
So that's the real issue then, because the fight.
I think the movie has some pacing issues, but it's not enough to like ruin it. I think they do a decent job.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is not with the overall movie, with the pacing of that fight, because the other fights were a lot more drug out, where we saw more of the rounds. Whereas in this one, it was like they gave us all the money shots, and they said it went to the 11th round or
Yeah,
12th round, but it didn't feel like that.
I mean,
So
I thought this fight scene was the longest one out of all the Creeds. You don't feel so? The last one?
not the way you saying it, because you saying from the first round after that one, basically you knew who was
Yeah.
going to win, because like
It felt like the moment he walked out, he was gonna win. That's how I felt. I was like,
yeah,
dang.
but that should be the thinking after going through the training arc, that
Yeah.
the main guy or whoever is the main protagonist is the one that's supposed to win, because they showed us both of them. Now, if in the training arcs we saw Creed training, and he was training his hardest, and we got his original cutscene, but we saw Dame out partying and hanging with a whole bunch of people, instead of like really focusing on the fight and being more of like, there's no way I'ma lose. Nah, this man was training just as hard, but the media and everything else was still saying like, yo, Creed don't got it, Creed don't got this, Creed don't got that. But
Yeah, and all I'm saying is that
regardless,
was erased in like the first scene of the fight. It made it clear as day. Creed is back to being Creed. It did not seem like he was 3 years hiatus Creed. And
it,
then when we get the cool fighting scenes, the same thing. It didn't seem like he's old Creed. No, we did not get no my shoulder hurting, man, and they like pop it back in place. All right, I'm going back out there. Don't. No, it was like this man is still the champ. Like as soon as he stepped on there, he's the champ, and I was like, damn, Dame ain't winning this. And the scenes we got was really cool scenes, but there was some like
okay,
breaking of it.
I'm about to. Oh, okay, so I'm about to walk down this road with you, right? So no, this is a good road. So, like I asked you earlier, right? What would have been the thing that would have made it better and made the tension higher, right?
Yeah.
And this is a shout out for Creed 4 if there's ever one, right? But just walk with me here. So, instead of getting what we got, what is the common denominator that Creed wanted to have that this movie doesn't?
Rocky?
Exactly. So, in this fight, we didn't get that normal of like, oh, damn, he's getting beat up, and there's nothing there for us to grab onto, right? And the thing that he had in the first movie, don't get me wrong, Duke is he's a legend.
Oh no,
he's a legend.
Disrespect
right?
Duke again.
No, but the stuff he was telling him, it wasn't really like he ain't saying nothing. And don't even get me started about Dame corner person, bro. Dame corner person wasn't listening to him at all.
He was not messing with them at all.
Exactly. So that would be the answer to the question. If Rocky was in this movie and was in his corner, all the stuff that Dame knows, he will be listening and comprehending. It's like, oh, look, when he puts his guard up, he's looking at you through this. Because I noticed this. I'm like, why is he blocking like this? Like, instead of like how everybody else is blocking like this, he's blocking like Dane was blocking like that. And he looks through, and that was the punch, and that was some karate stuff. I ain't gonna get into that, but that is what could have happened if Rocky was in that fight, and it would have led to Dane be able to get some more shots in that would have damaged him and maybe done some more jail stuff, like, and that would have gave you the tension that you was looking for in the fight. But it was still a good fight, and that's
I do think it's a good fight,
and
though.
That's where you lose me, Chris, because you say it like it's not a good fight, and I'm just like, okay, the tensions was lost, but we got
that's
anime.
where you're missing the point. I keep saying it's a good fight.
Yeah.
Like, I think you hearing that there's no tension to the fight means that it's
a bad thing. Yes.
Like, I'm like, where are you getting that?
Because
it's kind of like an Endgame where you see they're fighting Thanos again. You know what I mean? There has to have some tension that Thanos can win.
But when I see that, I don't say that though. I don't go into the movie thinking like, oh dang, like this is an automatic win
2 times in a row.
Yeah, like I don't think like that when it comes to it. Like I think of like, okay, I might have that conclusion like, oh yeah, what's name's gonna win. But as soon as I have that thought, it goes out my window and get back to what I'm actually seeing.
Yeah.
So,
but it's kind of like that's what I'm saying. In Endgame, in Endgame, there's scenes where they're fighting them, and you're like, how are the heroes gonna win? How are they gonna win? Oh, this is gonna work. Oh, Iron Man's using the super thing, or Thor's going crazy, or the Hulk's gonna come out of nowhere. You know, Marvel's gonna beat Thanos. Like, oh, is Marvel really gonna defeat him? And then it's like, oh no, she got beat. You're like, they gave this man the gauntlet again. But that's what I'm saying. Like, for me in Creed 3, some of that tension was just completely gone out of that last fight. And I just wish they would have had more to it, where it kind of felt like Creed was slowed, did look like a 3-year-old Creed where, dang, like, you can't bob and weave no more. What's going on? Like, it just looked like he got up. He, like you said, he did the training arc, and we good. I'm Creed. Pop, 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 pop. Like,
oh man, we running in circles. Running in circles, but that's what happens sometimes. But it's all good. I'll leave it at that. I understand your point, and the joint was lit. That's all I got. What do you? Since we're talking about that, like, what do you rate this joint?
I give it an 8. I give it an 8.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. Man, an 8.
Yeah. Very good fight scenes. Great way to wrap up the trilogy. I kind of think it did a really good job, because I didn't know where they were going to go with his family angle at all. Mm-hmm. But I do like the idea that his daughter actually took some
traits from
liking to boxing.
Yeah,
I did not expect that at all.
Yeah.
And they kind of didn't do Bianca dirty, where we get to Creed 3 and she can't hear at all either. Like, she slowed down her career. So I think storytelling with like the family aspect didn't get left behind. Yeah, mm-hmm. Rocky's not in it, but I don't think he needed to be in it. The angles of the fights were the best in Creed, and
best in boxing.
For what's his name, Michael B. Jordan, to be like his first directing thing. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's pretty impressive, to be mm-hmm. honest. You wouldn't think he did it.
Yeah.
And I definitely think the second best Creed. So overall, I think if they decided to no longer do Creeds, we're in there. I really hope they don't do a fourth one, because then I feel like,
yeah, what are we doing?
I think you're pushing it at that point. I think right here is where you stop it. So
yeah.
What do you give this one?
I mean, what do you think I gave it?
An 11.
Dang, I'm that size.
I'm pretty size.
I'm breaking the scale. I'm giving it a 10.
Are you gonna give it 10?
Yeah, I'll give it a 10.
10.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And reason why I say that,
Creed 1?
Nah, Creed 1's a masterpiece as well.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
Yeah. I go 1, 3, 2.
Yeah, I agree.
But it was just like, I won't say I wasn't a fan of Michael B. Jordan before this, but I wasn't a believer,
Oh
if that
yeah, I
makes
agree.
sense, of like, like he is really like that.
Yeah, it's
Like
something about him that's like,
it feel like
ah,
every time I watch something from him, I'm just watching Michael B. Jordan. Like he
yeah,
don't become the characters like that, and it started to change with when I saw the movie he did on Amazon Prime. I forgot what it
remorse
was, cause yeah,
without remorse.
without remorse, yeah. Because that was the first time like he was playing something that was like a little bit outside of the norm for him, because usually he's either, you know, the
Romance
eye
thing.
candy, yeah,
Yeah,
the eye candy for the movie, or he's somebody that we don't get a lot from in that movie. Like he's there, but it's like, he has his moments, but it's never like something that's this deep, because like
yeah,
he's just not there yet. But with this one, he definitely took it there, and I actually believe like it wasn't like I was like usual like with celebrities of this status and actors of this status. Like he's no longer a celebrity to me. He's an actor. Before he was more of a celebrity than an actor to me. And I was just every time I see him, I was like, oh, you know, I saw Michael B. Jordan. I didn't see that person.
yeah.
You know,
I think
and then
everyone agrees with you on that.
yeah, and then with Jonathan Majors, like when you could put them two side to side, like you gotta bring it.
Yeah,
Like if you and this is your final jump and your director debut, like you can't fold. You know, so hats off to everybody involved in this joint. I didn't really talk about Bianca that much in this joint, but I love Tessa Thompson. Like she's so good. And it was a point where I was watching, I might have been the second one. Cause I think I said this while I was watching. I was like, dang. I was looking at her act against I think it was when Donnie proposed to her. And she was like, you really want to do this type thing? And they was having their
yeah,
whole back and forth.
yeah.
And I was sitting there thinking, I was like, oh my gosh, Tessa, you are so much better than Michael B. Jordan at acting. Like it was just like, yo, I believe every word you saying right now. It was crazy.
Yeah, her
So
delivery of her lines is always way better.
yeah.
And like
Yeah.
you're saying, there's something about Michael B. Jordan that like he's getting there, and in the
Hmm.
Creed role he does his best, but
Yeah.
there is sometimes where he acts like him,
Hmm.
and not necessarily like, oh, okay, I see where we're taking it. So
Yeah. And then uh yeah, it was just overall, it was just like it's definitely my favorite thing I've seen this year so far. Um but other than that, the only other topics going around about this movie, well, two topics, was the whole Michael B. Jordan corny thing, which I don't really feel like is like it was a good,
what?
like basically when he was doing interviews on red carpet, one of his people from high school was interviewing him, and she called him corny back in the day. He got his get
Oh
back.
yeah,
He got his get back, and if you on any other side than like the most obvious side, it's just like you got it. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
I ain't really tripping. And yeah, and then also the whole masculinity thing, especially with Jonathan Majors. For some, like I don't get it
Hmm?
because like
Dang, you
of the
dropping Twitter stuff I
I'm
have
just
no clue about.
I mean yeah, because it was like he did a shoot for like I forgot who it was, but he had like um it's like he was just like Don Flamingo from One Piece.
Okay,
That's what it reminded me of.
like
So
a rose petal or like
yeah, it
a
was like
flower petal,
yeah, it was pink and like he ain't had no shirt,
feathers. Yeah,
feathers. Yeah, it was like, but this one was like I don't remember what the actual material was, but it's the fact that
in
it was
pink.
pink. It was the fact that it was pink, basically,
Oh
and
dang.
people was tripping like, "Oh, they're taking his masculinity away and all this other stuff." I'm like, if you think that, bro, you don't know what it is. So it's a lot of things like that going around, and the way they've been handling all this, I think is really good because it's just showed that like in the movie, there's other ways to not only
Yeah,
express yourself but
express
also
yourself.
handle situations, and I think that they are true testaments to that. And it was just
Go
like
ahead.
something that it was just like okay, like they see you doing good, they try to tear you down type thing. Like it's just
And
what
that was like a
happens.
direct thing from the movie too.
Yeah.
Like at
Yep.
some point you got to open up and get these feelings out, express yourself, and
Mm-hmm.
because you can't just be holding
Bottle
it
it
in
up.
and then letting your
Yeah.
family see you like break down,
Right.
or let it break you down.
Right.
So
Yep. But yeah, man, that's pretty much all I got, bro, for this
yeah,
joint. This joint was like that. Like I said,
man, I'm a miss. We're not gonna get a trilogy for a while. I
I'm
don't
gonna
know
be
what's gonna
watching these joints though. That's one thing I did take away. Like when they put the third one on there, like I'm gonna just be like, cause it's
yeah.
like the perfect, like, not motivation tool, but like the like I just might make a
Best trilogies, top 5 trilogies, because
nah. That's
there's plenty.
difficult. Yeah, that's difficult. I don't know
Yeah,
about that. That's difficult. But
for me personally, I think it does land on a good trilogy list.
yeah,
So
same.
I
But
wonder
it
what
has
everyone's top 5
rewatchability
trilogies
though.
are.
That's my thing with it. It has I
Definitely.
will watch this again like multiple times.
I mean, we both rewatched Creed 1 and 2, so it's just kind of like, yeah,
Right.
you'll rewatch this one.
It's just so weird, like that I watched the first one and didn't get that impression. I think because I was mad that he lost. I was like, what was the point of this movie? That fact that he lost. I was a kid, y'all. Don't blame me.
Oh,
Don't blame me. I was a kid when it came out, but I remember I was just like, I remember not liking it because of that, you know. And that was just my take back then. But I have grown, you know. So, but
masterpiece.
on me. But Chris, what you got, man? What you geeked about this week, buddy?
It's got to be Scream. It's got to be
Oh,
Scream. I hope it's good.
yeah.
I think I said it back last year when we saw Halloween Ends.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez, that thing needed to end.
Trash.
Uh, yeah, that thing was trash. If this is trash, it'll probably break my heart. To be
No
honest,
way.
I don't know. I really hope it's good. I'm gonna
Yeah.
rewatch all the Screams this week.
Oh my
They are
goodness.
some of my all-time favorite movies. Um, after Scream 1 and 2, it goes downhill pretty bad, but um, I'm hoping this one's good.
Yeah.
We'll find out, but it's got to be Scream.
Okay.
What you
I'm
geeked
with
about,
that.
G?
So, couple things. First thing. Y'all see me looking down all day.
Uh-oh.
I got a new phone.
What could this be?
I got a new phone. You know what I'm saying? First, I ain't had a new
Dang.
phone in a long time, bro. In a long
Dang.
time.
No case?
It's
G
it's
got
in the mail. It's in the mail. It's in the mail.
Oh, okay.
Don't trip. Don't. Look, this back to back episodes. Chris tried to throw me on the bus. Back to back.
I'm just saying, when you see people with no phone case, they got money,
No, I literally just got it, y'all. Literally just got it. Amazon didn't do the 1 day shipping. I get it. It comes in tomorrow. But excited about that because the TikTok crispiness is gonna expand. You know what I'm saying? The camera go crazy. And then the other thing I'm geeked about. So I got this trade of the first season of Static, and
Ooh.
because I'm on the second season now of like I know everything that happened, a lot of stuff that happens because we watched the show and it's pretty comic book accurate. But they changed things about it that I'm super excited to get to, especially like the whole Big Bang thing, and I'm just excited to like read that. But other than that, anything else? Fantasy team doing terrible.
Oh, everybody, this guy right here.
I'm still in second
he got
place.
Ja Warrant on his team, and he is not coming back for the rest of the season. And
neither is Zion.
Start a week
next week. Yeah,
next week.
My two of my top 3 players is not playing.
Hey yo, Ja, I ain't giving you no advice, but we need you in the NBA, man. So
like, what's going on, bro?
Yeah,
I don't get it.
No advice from me, but we need you in the NBA. We hope you come back, and you straighten out all whatever's going on.
It's bad, bro.
G gonna never draft you in fantasy ever again after this year.
I'm never playing fantasy basketball again. This joint already ruined my season, bro. I can't even enjoy the teams I like watching.
At least you're in the playoffs.
Barely.
Yep.
But yeah, man, that's going to do it for this episode of the Why I'm Geek show this week, man. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure you hit that like button on YouTube. Make sure you hit that follow button and like button and comment and rate the podcast on your favorite audio platforms. And, appreciate y'all for tuning in. We'll see y'all next week. Stay geeked. Peace.
Later, y'all.